across the room. I see your patience are short with all these dancing fools. I see that you're the type of girl that likes a tattoo. I seen the way you looked at me when I came walking through. So don't hesitate, blow a single night like alone. Don't let the night go, now don't let it go. Don't wanna be the streets, I wanna make you scream. Come get it like a freak, take my hand, gotta do a reach. Oh, life is like a dream, come and get it like a freak. Take my hand.
All right, we want to welcome back to another episode, another week of the Twisted Hour here on WBUZ95.com. We are still operating remotely, obviously because everything is not cleared up with the virus and whatnot. So this week we have as our guest, we have Miss Cepha Beach from California. She is a Twisted Angel. She is a piercer, body piercer, and we will be joined by her today, and we'll be talking about her, about all her different colors of hair and everything else. And I will be doing the first segment with my co-host Kelsey, and then the second half of the show will be Kelsey and my better half Brianna Blue. She'll be on. That's always interesting when she gets on. So we will be back here in just a few moments with Cepha, and we do have new music this week too, so stay tuned.
Winner of Hell City Hotties,
and Hall Cantrell from Iconic Tattoo here in Arizona.
Tune into Twisted Hour here on
WBUZ 95, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the Twisted Angels.
All right, and we are back as promised with Cepha. Now, when we look at you on Instagram, you have, well, recently a blue hair, but now I see you got some pink or purple flow in there too. So you're just, you changed your hair color. Well, I can't even change my hair color, but you're always changing your hair color. So what do you have what's the word for it? Do you have a plan for that when you change your hair? Or is it like, I'm just going to change it this week? How do you do that?
So recently I used to have pink hair, and then I dyed over it blue because everyone in town had pink hair all of a sudden. So it was kind of like awesome, but at the same time everyone kind of looks the same. So
yeah.
I dyed over it blue, but then my recent shoot has been in the pool and ocean, so this is what happened. And it turned it was a total accident, but everyone seems to like it.
Yeah.
But I will be going back blue.
Yeah.
So.
And that's funny too, because Bree has been talking about the fact that she wants to go, get her hair blue again because it's faded out, and she's like, but everybody's doing blue hair right now. I don't know if I want to do that. And I'm like, you should be, you should just be thankful you have hair to dye right now. So because I don't, but anyway, let's get back to now. Now Cepha's she's been with Twisted Angels since last fall. So September, October, I think you joined. I think somewhere in that time frame. But so how long have you actually been modeling?
So honestly, I started modeling probably about 4 or 5 years ago, but I got real serious into it probably right around the same time I signed up with you guys.
Oh, okay. So that's you. But you've really done quite a bit in the last. But I just saw today you're in the latest issue of Badass Online magazine. So you're in the latest issue of that.
Yeah, so, I've been trying to get into that for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And finally jumped into it, and I'm pretty excited. I'm super excited with the layout. Then I was blonde. But,
yeah. Well, I think when you first joined, I think we helped you with getting into the Definition magazine with Willie. So it's because Willie's a good friend of ours. He's one of the publications we work with. So you kind of just jumped. You just really kind of jumped right into it. Now, that doing the modeling thing is one thing, but what's your other day job? What do you do when you're not modeling? This is going to be interesting because we haven't had somebody like this on the show yet.
Yeah. So during the day or during my real job is I'm a body piercer.
Right.
I've been a body piercer for about 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl. Yeah.
So what made you decide to get into body piercing?
I've always been into body piercing and body modifications. It's always been an interest. I've always liked tattoos in the industry, and I just really like their vibes. But one day I was just tired of working like a regular job or being that bartender that always worked in the bar. I just couldn't go over it for a minute. So I was like, before I looked for an apprenticeship for a while, I never found one. No one that was willing to accept me because I was kind of young, So, and it's really hard to find an apprenticeship or someone that's willing to do an apprenticeship because it's hard work. You don't get paid. You show up every day.
Hard work on both sides.
Exactly. So, and then you got to be 100% committed. And I walked in a shop and was like, "Hey, are you guys looking for an apprentice? I'd really like to learn how to be a body piercer." And they're like, "Well, if you're willing to learn and you're willing to stick around, then yeah, here you go." They threw me the ropes, and also that day I never left. And 7 years later, here I am.
Oh, you're still at the same shop you started off with?
Yep.
That's really great. I mean, I know that, I don't know how it is on the West Coast, but you'll find, at least here on the East Coast anyway, that there is I guess, if, for lack of a better word, there's a bit of a reluctance to bring on apprentices because they look at it from the perspective that they are I'm training my future competition kind of thing. So that becomes
what it is.
yeah. So that runs into they run into that a lot over here on the East Coast. So I don't know how it is on the West Coast from that perspective.
It's exactly the same on the West Coast, and the West Coast I think is a little harder because there's a lot more people, and being in California, the amount of artists out here is insane.
People move to California to follow those types of dreams. So it's nothing but competition, neighbor to neighbor, right and left.
And it's way harder. Like, you think that you're bad and you have everything done and you're, like, spot on, but there's always someone next to you that has been doing it even harder and longer than you.
Always someone better, always someone worse. It's a never-ending cycle of self-improvement. And, like, on a personal level, that was actually a big dream of mine for a really long time, and I went after it. I got 1 or 2 apprenticeships that I had to work, like, so hard for it. And I mean, like you said, nobody really wants to take on the apprenticeship because it's work for both, and they're training their competition, and a lot of times apprentices want to be offered a job or a spot when, there's so many levels to it, and it was really hard for me, and I had 2 opportunities that were really great opportunities that, from no fault of my own, ended up not working out 6-8 months in. And so I need to just get that far and not be able to continue. And I feel so connected with you right now because I was such a passion. So, like, what are the minimals and the extent of your body modifications, both that you do and that you have personally?
The extent, I mean, during my apprenticeship, I was, like, mentally drained, physically drained, you know what I mean? But I wanted it, and I made a decision, like, if this is what I wanted, I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to run until I can't run any longer. And to be honest, I am the only body piercer in Lake Elsinore on one side of the lake. Once you go into Wildemar, there's body piercers, but in Lake Elsinore, I'm the only one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool.
I mean, like, all types of body piercings. I mean, is there anything you don't do or anything a little bit past piercings that you do or are interested in maybe learning in the future? Like,
so as of right now, I am just a traditional body piercer. I do all traditional piercings. I do specialize in female genitalia. I don't do male genitalia because, I mean, I'm just not really that comfortable with it. And then it's not a really high clientele on my end in the area that I am, so it's very rare that a male comes in and wants something done like that.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, not too many Prince Alberts going on out there. So.
No, it's more in the LA area. You know what I mean? More, everyone out there's a little bit more ballsy, a little bit off the wall. From where I am, the Inland Empire, everyone's a little bit more, I'd say, not more traditional, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Selfing soon as opposed to like make a statement.
Right. Exactly.
Now, what has been your like the most interesting or craziest piercing or modification that you've been asked to do? Not that you've necessarily done, because I mean you see the people where they get the ridges, they get the the little spikes,
right.
and is that something you're looking? Because you said you're traditional. Is that something you want to work your way up to, that you can do those things, or what is your?
I would actually really love the opportunity if I could find someone that's willing to apprentice me in that.
Mm-hmm.
Body modifications, as in body implants and scarification. I'd really love to, because at Booster Tattoo Shop, we're qualified to do that. I'm physically not mentally qualified to do that.
The training to.
Right, my mentor was a traditional body piercer, so he never really knew how to do scarification and implants like that. But if I ever found someone that was willing to, or if I had enough time to pay someone to train me in that, hands down, I would love to do that, because that would be the next step in my career as a full body piercer, because there would be nothing stopping me.
Yeah.
Have you ever been interested in the suspension aspect?
I have, actually, and Body Art Expo, when we've gone, I've seen it, and I'm always like, gaga eyes, like, I'm in love with it. Honestly, and I have been invited to a few suspensions around town, and I have gone to a few art shows for suspension, so it is really intriguing, and it's just a matter of amount of skin that you have to get a certain area.
It's a lot more scientific and biological than people would think. I mean, how much skin can hold how much weight in different parts of your... I mean, it's so involved. I think people don't get credit for the amount of intelligence you really have to have to do any type of piercing, scarification, any type of that bodily modification. The extent of knowledge for somebody that stereotypically gets looked at and judged as like a scum of society type deal. I mean, it's fascinating how intelligent you all are, really.
Yeah, I'm intelligent enough to know I shouldn't do that, so that's pretty much it. But so with the quarantine and everything that's been going on with the whole virus, how badly is it? How badly has it impacted you there? I mean, like, obviously here on the East Coast, there's a lot of places that are still shut down. Some places that are starting to open up. I know in Arizona they just opened back up this past weekend. But they were really only shut down. They were only shut down for like 3-4 weeks. But they were
so lucky.
Yeah.
To be honest, out here it's killing me. Like, our shop is shut down completely. We're following by the guidelines and the regulations that we need to do. And as of right now, unfortunately, our shop is shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to pierce at the moment. But outside photography has been permitted. So I've just been catching up on shooting as much as I possibly can before I do go back to work full time as a producer. Because I only model on Sundays and Mondays, because those are the only times I have available. Other than
right.
I'm grinding at the shop as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I saw the video. You did a live the other night on Instagram of a night shoot you were doing, like in an alley, which looked pretty good. So I'm kind of curious to see the I don't know. Did you see the comment I made on it? You probably didn't see it till later on. They had you like standing up on, I don't know if it was a box or something up there against the wall. And
that was a cement pillar.
Oh, cement pillar. Okay. What's that?
I said it was gnarly. I was in like pleaser shoes, like my balance. I was like, okay,
wow.
This is gonna be tricky, but I got up there.
Well, I was just thinking it would have been really cool to see you do like a crouching pose if they were, because they were shooting. They were angled up at you shooting that way. I thought it would have been really neat to get like almost like a gargoyle type look, where you're like perched on it. Would have been really, really cool. I don't know if they did that or not.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they had done it or not. I didn't get a chance to go back and look and see if anybody responded, but I thought that would have been a really cool thing to do, like that gargoyle type thing. So,
gargoyles.
yeah, so
that was my
I remember stuff since before you were born, so I don't. Do I remember that? I was a kid when Scooby Doo came out, like in '68 or '69, and so I was watching Scooby Doo for Saturday morning cartoons and Bugs Bunny and all those original cartoons and stuff. I was watching all that during the early '70s. So yeah, I've seen Gargoyles. I've seen all that stuff. So yeah, if I'm old enough, I appreciate the throwing me a bone on that one, but yeah, it's not gonna fly on that one.
I got the genie today. I'm feeling good.
So when you're doing your shoot, is there anything in particular when you're shooting that's your favorite style to shoot that you're like, okay, this is the one I really get into? Is it doing something where it's fashion oriented or lingerie, or just something a little bit more on the artsy side, or a theme? What do you like to do?
My go-to is like a boudoir style. That's always my go-to. I'm really comfortable in. And then it's just really easy for me to like just jump in. Like, all right, we're doing like sultry, sexy kind of boudoirs, dark kind of feels. So it's really easy for me to get into that. But at the same time, I always like to make sure that all of my looks are on point. That everything matches. Everything either has a feel, like a theme, or a vibe to it. And then I also ask what the photographer wants to see, because it's also their work too. So if they want to see like more of a dark side, or like they want the black theme, then we'll do a black theme. You know what I mean? If they want something else, then we'll.
We're losing you a little bit there, Cepha. Can you go back a little bit to what you were saying, where you asked the photographer what they want and everything like that? Because we lost you there for a minute. There was a lot of background noise there.
So I like to always ask what the photographer wants to see too, because it's not just what I'm putting out there; it's what they're putting out there too. It's just as equal as their
artistic collaboration.
Yeah, exactly.
So I always like to see what their aspect is, like what their look on it is, because they might see something else that I don't see about myself, and I always like their opinion as well, because I don't want them to be like bored, you know what I mean? While they're like, okay, shot. I don't really dig this outfit, shot over it, you know? I want them to actually like the outfit. I also talk to them about like what they're interested in shooting. If they have a pose that they haven't been able to shoot, that they really want to shoot, you know what I mean? Or styles that they want. I try to be very versatile and
Well, yeah, like you said, you don't want to be in a situation that either you or the photographer are just kind of going through the motions because you don't like the outfit or the setting or whatever. You want to make sure it's something that there is that collaboration, that you're both kind of anxious to see the final product. So now, when you're shooting now, are you shooting with the intent of adding to your portfolio, or are you shooting with the intent of having stuff available for publication? Do you have a preference at this point?
a little bit is a little bit of it's a little bit of both. So I'll do like normally 3 or 4 looks during a shoot with one photographer, and sometimes I'll post like one look and then I'll submit the rest to publications. As of September 1st in 2019 was my first publication. I've had like 30 publications since then. So I wanted to just kind of build up my portfolio, post a little bit on my social media, and then within the next couple of weeks I wanted to start doing straight publications again and start building on that.
We just lost Kelly. Her phone did a face plant.
She's like, oh, hi.
It was like balancing it on an ashtray or anything.
All of a sudden, you see this white screen on the other side. Oh, sure, her phone just did a face plant.
I told you my laptop is not working. My phone's not reliable. Who can you trust nowadays? Not Trump.
Yeah, well,
it's. I don't know it really.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things that we were discussing this, and just because this does impact everybody, but the one thing that I've seen, people have been debating on the possible second stimulus package to come out and whatnot to help everybody. And there was some debate. There was this debate on a YouTube channel that I kind of follow, and the debate was whether or not there should be one and whatnot. And the government was thinking, well, okay, we're going to wait and see how things go economically because we haven't seen a lot of economic activity right now with the first stimulus check. I actually I don't normally comment on stuff like that, but I was like, this is kind of stupid because you're not seeing any economic activity because so many businesses are closed. So nobody's spending. So
people are out of work. They're using that money towards bills, not
right, exactly. So right, so that being, and I said people are out of work. They're spending money on things that they need, like paying their bills and stuff like that. They're whatever. Yeah, they're not going out and spending money on things they want. They're spending money on things that they need.
From the lack of work, from the lack of hours, you're filling in the blanks with that stimulus.
Right.
I mean, I haven't gotten approved for mine yet.
Oh, wow.
Because it's a big messed up thing with my taxes, and when I applied for partial unemployment, I was told I didn't make enough money on the year where they're basing the taxes.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is because of my divorce and stuff, the whole stimulus check is getting complicated because apparently he filed separately from what I filed. So the whole thing's gone to audit.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten unemployment. I haven't gotten a stimulus. I'm just in the water.
Well, but if there is a saving grace, at least you've been able to work a little bit. It's not like you've been sitting at home and not doing anything.
Absolutely.
So that is a bonus on your part. So, but
hours at work.
Right, but like with Cepha and even with Bree works as a daycare teacher during the day. The thing is this.
Have a job, they don't need daycare.
Right. Well, there's two things with that. The daycare, we were talking about this too, was the fact that even with the daycare, they rely on the people that are going to be working to bring their kids to the daycare. Not everybody's going to be going back to work at the same time, so they're not going to need all the employees back at the same time. And not only that, they rely on those people paying for the daycare for her to pay the employees. So I think with a lot of people, and Cepha, you're essentially self-employed, so it's going to take you a couple weeks or so just to start getting a little bit of income in that you're going to be able to start making a dent in the bills that you have that the stimulus wasn't able to pay for. And the sad part of it, not sad, but the difficult thing is that with that stimulus, a lot of people got caught up on some bills, but probably didn't get caught up on everything that they needed to get caught up on. So even when they start back to work, they're still going to need what's left of the stimulus to help them out, or they're still going to be playing catch up to some degree. And same thing with businesses as well. They almost have to do the second stimulus because there's two things that are going to happen. I understand they're upset about or they're concerned about the national debt because they spent over $3 trillion with this current stimulus. But if they do another one, they're going to be looking at spending even more money. But if people aren't working, the government funding is going to go then towards unemployment, low-income housing for people that lose their houses and get evicted or do whatever the case may be because they fell so far behind. And cars repossessed, whatever. So it's either, are you going to do it all like a Band-Aid and just give everybody stimulus and bam, get it done and over with and give yourself a time to get back on your feet that way, and you have to give them enough that they can get caught up on everything else they need to get caught up and then turn around and be able to spend the money that they have, or are you going to just do a slow death and let people just be unemployed and hit an even bigger recession, and it's a longer process. So either way it's going to hit the debt either way. So do you do it all at once or you let it drag out?
We've been in debt before, we'll get out of it again. You know what I mean? Like, think about it, the USA, we're always in debt. We're always in debt to somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
So regardless, we're overpacked, overpopulated, but the thing is people need to get back to work. People need to pay their bills. People need to live. And it's a matter of either opening these states and letting people get back to their life and controlling this virus, which they've controlled it before. We've had it for a while. It's not like it's a new thing. It's an out-of-control thing.
Yeah. It's a matter of getting the populations to listen to the individual federal governments, the state governments. It's a matter of everybody getting on the same same fucking page.
Yeah. And I think with our industry especially, because we are already, and we've discussed this before too, when we've talked to Blondie and even with Sophie and whatnot, with the virus and everything that's involved, and because you have tattoo artists and piercers, okay, and just so you know, we've had this radio show now for, this will be our 3rd year next month, and you're the first body piercer we've had on the show in 3 years. So you you popped our cherry for having body piercers. So, but anyway, the fact of the matter is, it has impacted our industry, and people look at us that with the tattoo artists and piercers and just the whole general look, and photographers and models and stuff like that. There's the stigma attached to us that we're not going to be careful. And that's really something that we, not only do we have to worry for ourselves, but we have to worry about what other people think about us even more than we normally would. So
that contributes to their involvement and the distribution and the sales and everything that we're working for. I mean, people look down on you or think you're not being safe about it. And that, I mean, it's just a food chain that snowballs on.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is, too, if they think that we are going to be unsafe about it, technically body piercers and tattoo artists, we are trained the same way to deal with bloodborne pathogens, blood, chemicals. We do wear gloves. We do wear masks 24/7. We do.
You're all safer than every other business out there.
Exactly. Our Rooster Tattoo Shop is probably I can guarantee Rooster Tattoo Shop is more sterile than the Stater Brothers or the Albertsons down the street. Yeah. We're more safer in our tattoo studio than anywhere else.
Was before, and I've worked at multiple tattoo shops, not as a piercer or a tattoo artist, but I've done accounts and I've kept the books. I've done web design, etc. So all the shops I've worked at, even with a job like web design on my end, I had to get bloodborne pathogen certified. And so, I mean, before the pandemic, tattoos and piercers were already certified for like an AIDS level of cross-contamination.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just ridiculous.
We are trained the same way. We are trained the same way dentists and doctors are. We just don't do the same thing dentists and doctors do.
Right.
Exactly. It's the same training, the same
procedures. We use the same. We both use the same Maticide. You know what I mean? We use medical grade disinfectant on everything. And everything's single use, pre-packaged, pre-sterilized, disposable, so that I don't understand, but also I guess it's not for me to understand, and I've just got to sit and wait.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get the same thing, I know in Arizona there was a big deal about the fact that hair salons could stay open, but tattoo shops and whatnot had to close down. And our friend Hollis actually called the governor's office, to find out why, because there was such a big deal about it. And I guess that
I met Hollis. He's a really good dude.
Oh yeah, Hollis is great. So
I met him at Body Art Expo with his lady.
Yeah, with Crystal. Yeah, so they were there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you didn't get a chance to meet with John Wagner from Tattoo Stories. He was going to try and link up with you there to talk to you there, and you didn't get a chance to. But I think we're going to try and.
Sometimes I met Hollis while I was getting food, so
yeah.
It was like a brief time in between time. Because normally when I go to an expo, I'm not there for the glitz and glamour. I'm there to make my money and make my name presentable as a piercer, And if someone wants to work with me from there on in, I look more responsible on that level.
Yeah. Well, again, bringing up the conventions, like you said, you have to have all those blood pathogens. You have to have all that stuff cleared before you can even do. Thanks for sharing that with us. So, so you have to have all those blood pathogens. You have to have that stuff done before you can even, work with anybody at an expo or a festival. So. Yeah, that's pretty stiff.
Other states could have different licenses. So even though, I'm from California and I can be going, let's say, New York,
Yep.
I have to get a New York license, so they even have to approve me before I'm even able to go.
Right, exactly.
Anywhere,
Exactly.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So, there are rules and regulations that we have to abide by. It's not like we could just be like, oh, hey, I'm a piercer, or hey, I'm a tattoo artist, let me in. Like,
Right. You got to have all your stuff. You got to have all your ducks in a row. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a break here. We are going to be, running an ad or two, and we're going to, pay some bills. And when we come back, Brianna's going to be joining the show, like what we've been doing while we've been under this quarantine and whatnot. I'll do the first half of the show. She does the second half of the show, as we take turns watching the wee ones. And we will be back in a few minutes with Cepha and Kelsey and Brianna Blue.
Hey everyone, this is Alice Raven, better known as Marie Macabre of the Twisted Angels in the UK. Tune in to the Twisted Hour here on BUZ 95 Wednesdays at 8 PM Eastern Standard Time. You can tune in on the Orange Radio app or on WBZ95.com. Stay spooky.
All right, this is the second half. I am Brianna Blue. Mike went to go step out to give the kiddos a bath. We're here with Cepha and Kelsey.
hey,
What up?
chillin'.
Yeah? How's California weather for ya?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's actually really hot. It's been really beautiful and nice. The last couple of days, the beaches were actually open back up. So everyone's at the water, no one's in town. So it's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. I see all your photo shoots and the pictures that you post up on Instagram, and I get really jelly. All you're in is like this in bikinis pretty much, and I'm just like, oh, what I would give for warm weather.
Yeah, it's really beautiful out here.
Pennsylvania is hormonal, to say the least. So.
I always call Maryland weather. I just call Mother Nature and Maryland drunk. It's like today, Tuesday of last week, it was 78. Wednesday, it was 43. And then Thursday and Friday, it was like 63 to 71. It's like I can't put away my winter clothes. I can't put, I don't know what to do with my closet.
I know. Oh my goodness. So one of my questions that I have for you is, do you have any plans for post-quarantine?
Yes. Good question.
Was that for me?
Yes, babe.
Oh. for after quarantine?
Yeah, post-quarantine. Do you have any plans?
Yeah, I plan to get my butt back to work and start making some more money.
How is that?
Right now, our shop is completely shut down, which drives me nuts because, like Mike was saying, hair salons are allowed to be open, stores are allowed to be open, but our tattoo shop is way cleaner than a store, way cleaner than a gas station. Like, it's way more sterile. So, and we're trained on how to take care of blood and body fluids properly.
Way more so than anybody else in the open businesses.
Exactly. So it just kind of drives me nuts, and it's like watching everyone win the race, and you're just sitting there in last place with nothing to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
But hopefully it'll be over soon, and we'll be able to open up shops. I know a few shops, like Mike was saying, a few people in Arizona are opening shops. A few of my buddies are starting back to work.
And I've got to say, just based on like my own newsfeed and social medias and stuff, the amount of people I've found like irresponsibly begging someone to do a tattoo at the wrong time, like you guys are going to have a huge rush when things open back up because everybody, some are broke, but some have tons of money they have nowhere to spend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a, like,
all those stimulus people that have stacked up their
fucking Christmas.
Right? Like tax season times 3.
Yeah.
I think I've got like 3 different jars of savings for like 3 different tattoos I want like ASAP. So, I know.
Oh my goodness. You just got your stimulus check? Come get a tattoo. Bring it in. But,
This will stimulate you.
you're ridiculous. What got you started into piercing?
I really like body modifications, and I just wanted to do something different, something that not everyone else can like. Just really like, oh, I'm gonna go get a job and I'm gonna be a body piercer. Like,
Right.
I wanted to do something, and then I also want to do something that no one in my family has done either, or any of my friends in town, and to actually do something and prove everyone like, I did it. I'm successful. Like I said earlier, I am the only female body piercer in like Elsinore at the moment, so I'm pretty proud about that.
That's awesome.
And the audience, listeners can't see me bowing, but I'm bowing to her woman.
Hell yeah.
So one of the questions we have gotten thus far, little bit piercing related, but just as a piercer, what is the weirdest piercing or most awkward encounter you have had, and what is the most common?
I'd say the weirdest piercing that I have done, well, I wouldn't say it's weird because I actually enjoy doing them, but it's just not like an everyday piercing. Would have to be like the VCH, which is a vertical clitoral hood piercing. So it's like the hood or in the vagina area. I really like doing female genitalia. It is rare that people have enough balls to do that. And it's what I specialize in, so it's actually really cool because it also lets their guard down. They have to be very comfortable with me. And it's like, hi, what's your name? What's your name? Meeting someone really fast. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to show them everything.
I expect that to be like such a like intimate yet empowering introduction, like just to feel, so like this is, and I'm imagining it, I guess, from the point of the pure C, like this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm getting, there's this badass bitch in front of me, like, yeah, give me your pussy, and it's gotta be like, I don't know, I'm not much of a feminist, but I envision that being like such a really awesome
Yeah.
vibe.
It's a really cool experience because a lot of women, I feel like it gives them their confidence, and they feel a lot more confident once they walk out. When they walk in, you can tell that they're very shy and timid, and then once they walk out with a huge chip on their shoulder, feeling like super confident. They have their womanhood back, and a lot of people actually get piercings for certain reasons. So I have met a lot of women that get piercings in that area to like reclaim their womanhood, or they've gone through an incident.
That's what's up.
Where they like they need that. Absolutely. Or like I have had a client that has been physically raped, and she wanted to reclaim her womanhood and put her tag on it. So it's really cool, and it's actually a really strong thing for me, and it's like it's almost I can't even explain it. It's like it's a huge honor to have these women come to me and have me embellish their womanhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's the same with nipple piercings too. You know what I mean?
For being such a short experience or whatever, or it can be such an in and out to just have that limited time with someone, but like get to share that big of a part of their life or recovery, or I feel like that could be really empowering.
Man, Mike came in here to fix Gavin, and he's over here like, oh, that doesn't sound like sex at all. Well, you came right on in when we're talking about genital piercings there, bro. I wanted a vertical hood piercing, but then, I read up on it, how, sometimes there's, like, horror stories behind it, how you, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the clip piercing itself, but then I saw the Christina. Huh?
Every vagina's a snowflake. They're all different.
I know, right? Seriously.
Looking at the worst issues, and it's so scary. I know what you mean, though, Brie. I've been in the same shoes. Keep going with what you were saying, but, like, I know exactly what you're going at.
I saw Christina piercing, and then the healing process for that, I guess, would have been a lot better than the vertical hood. So I've been like,
Waffling.
yes.
Same thing, though.
I think the Christina piercing is the most prettiest piercing in that area, to be honest. And then the healing process, everyone's a little bit different, but the healing process is very similar to a belly button. So
Okay.
it's going to be about 6 months to a year for the healing, but also it's on the ridge of the vagina. So it's not in that area where it's going to be irritated, but
Right.
at the same time, you don't want to have any intercourse or anything like that, or any bodily fluids near that area for at least 6 months.
I gotcha. Well, that's interesting. Thank you. I didn't know about that, so I will definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, and then honestly, everybody's different. So everyone heals different. Everyone has a different healing process. Everyone's anatomy is different.
Right.
Their immune system's different. So, and also everyone has different experiences. You know what I mean? It just depends on their body type. You could get it snagged a whole bunch of times because you wear a certain pair of jeans. And
Oh, my nipple rings on my bathroom towel, let me tell ya.
yeah,
Have you ever gotten it stuck on your loofah?
That's what I'm saying. Lymphos are a whole lot
I
worse.
felt my soul leave my body, and I've never felt my soul since.
It left.
So,
It went by. So, is there a certain style that you want to shoot that you haven't done yet?
I really want to shoot high fashion. I have done like a few, like, I've tried to vibe towards a fashion shoot a few times, like wearing like nice gowns, more of like a gown setting and like open areas. But I really want to do like high fashion, edgy fashion, like a Vogue.
how tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Okay, so, okay, that's what I was getting at. Is that a realistic dream for you or not? Because, I would love to do it, but I'm like 5'3". So.
Yeah, me too. I'm short as fuck. Yeah, no, I honestly, I like the whole gowns and tattoos and the alternative look mixed with, fancy dresses and all the fancy clothes that comes with high fashion. I think it looks great, and
It's the best combo.
and just recently they started to do, runway with tattoos too, and I thought that was pretty neat.
I really like the clean, sleek look of the clothes, the fresh cuts, the super nice high fashion, but with an edgy person underneath it.
Yes.
Presentation that you're a very put together, well-mannered, well-rounded, boss-ass woman, man, like whatever, but that you have your own personal style. You're
Absolutely.
presenting
And
yourself.
to be honest, tattoos aren't cheap. You know what I mean?
Oh,
People
no.
that have tattoos, people that do, like, people look at people that have tattoos as, like, scum or lower class. The thing is, like, technically we are the higher class. We're
Right.
You wear your cars.
Exactly. We work hard. We have, goals, and we have money to spend on our skin. Like, tattoos aren't cheap, So for people that look down on us, like, I think we're higher class. Honestly, I really do. So I think high fashion looks amazing on us.
Yeah, and when you think about what a tattoo interpretation, modification, and I mean, to really like think about the artistic aspect behind the mentality of people that are literally decorating their body, telling their story, being a canvas, I feel like that just speaks mounds larger than people that have not a single tattoo, but, you know, are great on paper and going to work. Taking that same...
Sorry, my dog is totally barking in the background.
Hi, puppers.
What kind of dog?
I have a pug and a pit bull.
Oh my gosh.
And there's my pit bull.
Oh, there's the pugs.
I named him Frank after the pug off of Men in Black, so...
Oh, that is awesome.
Myers was our guest a few weeks ago, and she has a big fluffy cat named Frank.
Oh man, yeah, that's
I
right.
can have cats, but my man is deadly allergic, so it's like, boyfriend or cat?
Right.
I think the boyfriend, because the cat technically owns you, so...
Is there a world we're just living in it?
Nobody
Yeah,
asked for
getting
your
back
input,
to,
Michael.
the people that own tattoos or that have tattoos, I really honestly think, like, instead of going to an art museum or a really nice art gallery and spending a lot of money on a piece of art that I'm going to hang in my wall, I might as well hang it on my skin and show it off to everyone. Because not everyone comes over to my house. You know? Everyone can see my art when I take it out.
And when you buy art, whether it goes in your house, your bedroom, or what, you're buying it for you know, not for your guests, or for the tenants afterwards, or for whatever, you know. So to be able to have it with you everywhere you go, and to always carry it with you, and not owe anyone an explanation, not have to have anybody come somewhere to view your art or your investment.
Right.
You just are literally a decorated story of your life. I love that, like, poetic feel.
Yeah, I have stained glass windows in my church, in my temple. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
Hobby, and I'm, like, obsessed.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful, fun town.
What town was that? I'm sorry. I got distracted by Mike's little finger ears behind my head.
Stained glass is just a fun talent.
Oh, yes! I used to do doodling on paper and would make a whole bunch of scribbles and then start coloring them different colors whenever I was bored. And I used to think, this is my stained glass masterpiece.
Absolutely.
No bullshit. It happened plenty of times. Oh, yes. Peyton wants to show everyone how sudsy she is.
What are you... Hey.
You still got suds on your butt.
She escaped. I'm sorry. She escaped from bathtub Alcatraz. Whoa, easy.
Oh, man. Have kids, they said.
It'll be fun, they said.
Oh, it's fun. It's never a dull moment.
They get that from their mother. She runs in and out of the shower naked all the time.
No, I don't.
Doesn't everybody?
No,
I know, I'm like,
Is that not normal?
I don't run in and out of the shower. Only when I'm getting out of the shower.
all the
I
time.
get the mail out the shower,
I mean,
man.
unless I forget something that I need in the shower, like my new shampoo and conditioner bottles, and I forget to put them in the shower, then yeah, my naked wet butt is definitely hopping out and going back in. For those of you who cannot see, I have a little kitty right next to me.
Wasn't clear.
She wanted to say hi. This is Mitzi.
Oh, she has the greenest eyes. So during quarantine, I started sewing and making my own cat clothes.
Oh my
Cat
God.
clothes.
Real bored. And hang on one sec, y'all talk.
Yeah. So, what's one of your most, Well, I would have to say every tattoo that you probably have is meaningful, but which one means the most to you?
I just recently got an Elvis portrait done. That one right now kind of means the most to me because it is for my grandparents. And my grandpa used to be, that is the cutest cat vest in the world.
Yes, guys. That is adorable.
She makes cat clothes.
Looks like some shit off of Lost Boys.
Yeah, I decided to turn crying into, like, outgrowing my fat ass, like, into a pair of my skinny jeans. It was super depressing for about 30 minutes until I was like, hey, that thigh looks about the same size as my cat. And that was the end of that depression. I cut off a thigh in my jeans. I cut off my boyfriend's sock to make a hoodie, and,
But
totally semi-not off topic, but off topic. So, on the modeling front, since this is technically, you know, like a modeling radio show, my cats just got jobs as brand ambassadors before me.
Shut up. That is
get the fuck out of here.
I entered them in like a cat modeling contest, and they both got accepted. And now I have a bunch of cat clothes for them to model, and I have to take pictures.
Good. Get that ass to work.
Twisted titties.
Twisted. Hey.
My friend has
See what you did there.
He's a brand ambassador for leashes for dogs and collars.
What's it called?
So what's up?
I don't know what the company is called. I am so horrible at that, but I will get back to you on that. It's like Aussie or something like that.
Yeah, their brand is Made by Meows.
So cute.
I was like so excited because my boyfriend like thought I was crazy because I'm like, oh yeah, so I entered the cats in a modeling contest, and he like laughed, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not joking.
That's serious.
And then like I'll be damned, like 12 hours later, I got an email, like 2 emails about each of them, like we'd love to offer your cats the position of cat ambassador.
So
Perfect.
to backtrack a little bit before the vest distracted everybody. What you're okay. What was your most meaningful tattoo that you have?
My most meaningful tattoo right now that I have to look around real quick. It would have to be my Elvis portrait that I just got recently. It's for my grandparents. My grandpa was an Elvis impersonator.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I got an Elvis portrait of him. I got some things for my grandparents. I also have like grandma and grandpa on my hands right here on the outsides.
Aw.
So, but another one that's really important is my knuckles because it says patience.
Mhm.
But it's just like kind of like a reminder to always keep my patience, back up, you know, keep my head on straight, which never really works, but you know, it's kind of a reminder, like, girl, sit back, take it easy.
It might not work yet, but it'll never work if you don't at least stop to pause.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's kind of like a constant reminder, like, hey, take a breather, have some patience, you'll pull through it.
Yeah. As a female piercer, did you find it difficult to break into the business?
It's hard to break into the business in general. I think as a female piercer, to myself, I felt like I just had a lot to prove to everybody. So I went hard. I studied really hard. I studied stuff that I really didn't probably need to study, and overstudied and hit my goals, and I try to just be the best that I can. But once I became a piercer, it was more or less just kind of proving to everyone in town that, hey, like, I'm serious. I'm a piercer now. And I just kind of stuck with it, and everyone else just kind of floated off, couldn't hang.
like, good and smart about it. I mean, if you know your cross-contamination, you know your sanitation, you know your...
Yeah, we're both smart on that. We're both smart on that. We're both smart on, like, how to take care of things. We're also smart on the art aspect. We're really artsy. We're outgoing. And like I said earlier, like, people look down on us, but I think that, you know, we are a higher class because we are artistic.
Definitely.
We're knowledgeable in how to take care of blood, body fluids, how to take care of the disease that's daily on a human body that we're not taking care of. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Once we give someone something, it's up to them to take care of it properly. And if they don't, you have to have that trust in that person that, hey, they're going to take care of this art piece, whether they paid for it or not. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have the knowledge to take care of it properly, the trust in that person that's giving you the art piece to have the knowledge that they know what they're doing, and the person that's receiving it to have enough knowledge to take care of it, you know?
Right.
And know that if they don't, it's not your fault. That they have a responsibility to get art as same as you.
We are always the ones to blame first, so we do take a lashing, but, you know, we just drive it into their heads that you brought it home, you signed a consent form saying, hey, you are going to take responsibility to take care of this once you leave. Once you leave the premises, it's not ours to take care of.
Yeah.
Once they leave, it's on them. It's
Definitely.
It's their art to take care of.
Absolutely.
So, I'm pretty curious. I used to work at a tattoo supply company, so I used to be the bugger on the phone calls all the time to all the different tattoo shops, asking anybody to, you know, buy certain jewelry, buy certain tattoo supplies, this, that, and the third. Have you ever heard of a company called Razor Blade?
I have not.
No, really? Okay. But usually the typical question that I would ask if I was trying to sell jewelry to a piercer would be, you know, what's your preference on piercing jewelry? You know, do you like titanium? Do you like surgical steel? Is there a specific kind that you guys...
So when I'm going to go place an order for jewelry, or for when someone wants jewelry, or when someone comes and gets a piercing that doesn't have any knowledge really, I always highly recommend, and I always order, and I always use titanium. It's
Gotcha.
my go-to. If you're going to come and get a fresh piercing, if you're bound, you are going to walk out with a piece of titanium jewelry in your body. That's what I stand by. I highly recommend it. If I can't find titanium, I go to niobium. If I can't find niobium, then we're going to be working with gold.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I really don't like to mess with anything else other than those materials, because those are going to be the best for your skin.
Right.
If you're sensitive or if you're not, because everyone's different. So for me, I'm going to get the most hypoallergenic metal that I can find out there, and I'm going to work with that as much as I possibly can.
Gotcha.
So I always recommend titanium. Even if you're buying it from somewhere else, buy titanium or niobium. Those are your go-tos. Those are going to be the safest for your skin if you have the most roughest, hardest skin, or if you have the most sensitive skin.
So your top three as a piercer in this order would be titanium, niobium, and then gold.
Absolutely.
Alright, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah, that's what I would run into with most of the piercers that I would talk to at different shops. They only maybe a few would work with surgical steel or want to get any of that, but most of it was either the real deal, you know, high-end titanium, and, you know, so I was just curious.
Because I'm an award-winning piercer, so I want to be a high-quality piercer as well.
Of course.
Carry the high-quality jewelry. I don't want to carry a mixed metal, you know what I mean?
I get ya.
It's not my forte, and a lot of people actually in town are allergic to it, so I don't like to mess with it because it's questionable. Bless you.
Bless you! Say assholes!
You guys saw that?
Yes! Say...
You only do this. Look at her dying in the background.
She was wrestling a ghostie in her room and sneezing into her flannel.
and nipple got wet. That's how much snot is on that thing.
That is disgusting. Okay?
Classy blonde hair and all.
I can't handle you. You know, for the amount of time that you muffled, you muffled your sneeze, I could still hear it.
I almost like suffocated myself and threw myself in a trunk to throw in the harbor. I was trying to be so quiet.
That's okay. It was kind of like like I heard the thud of the sneeze. It was
How do you thud when sneezing?
If you were here, you would have heard it. Okay? But you weren't. Oh my God.
So, how old were you when you got your first tattoo, and when was your most recent?
I was probably 18 when I got my first tattoo, and it was on my wrist. It says Love Life. And it's from an ex-boyfriend that was not a tattoo artist. But I learned my lesson really quickly. I still have those tattoos. Those are the only ones that I do have from back in the day that are not covered up. And then my most recent tattoo would have to be the left side of my throat, right here on my black and gray. It's all dot work, and then it fades into a geometrical pattern.
So,
Yeah.
It's all to do the right side of my throat, but
if this is personal, I totally understand. But since we were just talking about cover-ups, I guess you could pick any one of them, but what's one cover-up that, like, either meant a lot to you, or tell a story behind one of your cover-ups, or...
I have a cover-up right on my left forearm on the inside, and it's like super dark now. It's like a creepy horror film, but it's hard to see. But right in the middle, there was a hummingbird, and it said Lois on it, and it was a hummingbird drinking nectar out of a flower. And that was also done by my ex that was not a tattoo artist, but I did not like it.
Do you mean that he did the tattoo?
Yeah, like this tattoo. He's like what we call in our industry a scratcher.
Oh,
Got a tattoo and it does them out of their house.
Yeah, we've got that term too, actually.
We've got them everywhere, baby. We've got them everywhere.
The only cover-up I have is, family member, just someone that shouldn't have been tattooing, bad story behind it, but it ended up being one of my most, like, empowering tattoos, I feel like, sometimes when you have something you got on your body thinking, knowing it would be there forever, and then you go cover it up and realize it, and to just, like, have something covered and it was such, like, empowering, and, like, I embrace that thing so much, just bringing happiness through what it, like, represented as far as leaving something old behind that, at the same time, you can never remove. It's there, it will always be there, you can have it covered up, but it's still there. But I feel like that makes the cover-up, like, more empowering, just in the sense that, like, it's hiding something that you know is still there, making it something different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I actually, so I got the hummingbird covered up because I didn't like where it was. It didn't really blend in with my sleep, like my plan that I ended up going with. And it represented my great-grandmother. She always loved feeding hummingbirds. They were always everywhere. So anytime I see one, I always kind of like thinking it in my head, like, oh, that's my grandma, like saying hi, So I got one tattooed, and then I got it covered up and relocated somewhere else. So
Interesting fact. My grandmother was Lois too.
Crazy, super
Yeah.
cool.
I was about to say mine was.
Shut up.
Shut up.
So your grandma's name is Lois, and so is yours.
Yeah.
And my middle name's Lois.
And we all called her, like, Doolittle because she had a hummingbird that would, like, it had a clipped wing, and she rescued it, nursed it back to health, and every day she would go in the backyard to garden, and the hummingbird would fly out of nowhere and land on her shoulder and hang out.
That is crazy. See, we're already connected. There's already connection.
Like, so crazy. I almost shook my hands when I heard
I know, I
this.
see you. You're like, you're like,
Like, I also need a Ouija board or something.
crazy.
Alright, well, I'm going to step away, and Mike is going to take over. I have to take care of my minions. So, thank you very much for having me. I look forward to doing this again. Oh,
Bye, babe.
bye.
All right, now that you see baby powder all over me from doing giving the girls a bath, and
Oh, is that what it is?
yes, it's definitely baby powder. Nice try.
You can't blame me.
As I kept coming in and out of the conversations, I had to check on Gavin here, he's drinking a bottle, and the girls. I kept coming at the wrong times of the conversation, so I was just like, I'm trying not to make any snide remarks, but I failed miserably. But anyway. So before we go, Cepha, we need you to tell everybody where to find you on social media. Where do they find you on Instagram, on Facebook, and whatnot? Let us know how to find you.
You can always find me. My go-to social media outlet is always going to be Instagram. You can always find me on Instagram at _Cepha Beach. And it's spelled CEPHA, last name Beach, like the regular beach.
Awesome. Now, do you have a Facebook model page as well?
I do have a Facebook page. It's not more of a model page. It's more, you can find me on Cepha Beach, which a lot of my modeling is on.
Okay.
But that's just more like my public page as a person, as a human. But I also have a piercing page, which is also Miss_Cepha Beach, but it's just more on the piercing side of Facebook.
Gotcha.
But you can follow me on both social media outlets. But I will respond first off my Instagram. That's my go-to. It's my most popular one.
Gotcha.
So yeah, friend me.
You should
Follow me.
probably look into doing a Pinterest page as well. What you could do one for your modeling and one for your work too, because there's a lot of that going on right now.
Yeah,
So.
I was also thinking of separating them, but at the same time, I also run a few other pages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I already have like a handful of pages that I have to run. And I think sometimes it might be a little confusing both ways, like confusing if people are looking for my modeling or if people are looking for my work. So they can just find me on one outlet if
Right.
they want to do modeling or piercing. They can just DM me directly.
Right.
I'm not confrontational at
Yeah.
all. Feel free to.
Well, you can do the same thing on Pinterest. You can have it do both, because they have it.
Absolutely.
Because you can do different albums and stuff on Pinterest now. They've really done some really cool things with that to make it, pop a little bit more. So that's nice too. So, but that's good. So we find you on Instagram. That's your go-to. Anything else? What do you have coming up? Do you have anything like super planned once the quarantine's over and stuff like that? Do you have any big plans?
I have a few shoots lined up. I have a photo shoot and a video shoot with the Chopper Kings coming up.
Cool.
They're based out of Santa Ana.
Yeah.
I also have a few other photo shoots coming up with some other photographers. Some car shoots. Also some 420 related photo shoots coming up. And then we do have something planned for the future that is really big that we hope to start small but make it a big impact in the Southern California area.
Yeah, we'll definitely look forward to all that coming up too. So, and you've actually become a really big part of Twisted Angels, at least on the West Coast. So we certainly appreciate that. So I want to make sure that people understand that we really appreciate you. You've made a really great impression, and we've got a lot of great feedback, about you, not only as a model and as a piercer, but as a person too. So I think you've made a really good positive impact, and we really, really appreciate that. So.
Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate that.
Good. I just made that up. I just made that up now, so that was good. That's good because I just made that up. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't make that up. I did not make that up. I've actually we really have gotten some great feedback. So, we really appreciate that. So, all right. So we're going to be back in a couple minutes. We want to thank you again for being on the show this week. It's been awesome. I know Bree was looking forward to chatting with you today. She really likes the work that you're doing and whatnot. So, we really do appreciate everything you're doing, and we appreciate you taking the time out today. And like I said, we look forward to stuff coming up after all this is done. So, for those of you listening out there, this will be on our YouTube channel, and we will be hopefully putting in rotation on the regular radio station here within the next week, so that'll be really great. So we do definitely want you guys to tune in and enjoy the show. If anybody has any questions for Cepha, down below here on YouTube channel, you can ask your questions there. She'll check in and she'll answer them for you. And I believe Kelsey has a post on our Facebook page, so you can ask questions there, and she will answer them there as well. And what are you doing something special for them for the questions this week? What are you doing this week?
As usual, we are doing the autographed postcard featuring a picture of Cepha, hand-selected by her. There will be a little personal note to each person. But since we were taking questions before the show, I'll continue taking some afterwards.
Right.
But, also, anybody that asks a question or gets a question chosen this week will have a special quarantine going back to normal prize. So, since we're getting back into normal times, I started doing cool little puzzles and gifts for quarantine time.
I thought you were gonna send them a cat outfit or something.
No. Mine's not done yet. It's not finished. Because it needs to be done before you can release the line.
Awesome.
I was thinking of doing some kind, I don't know, it'll either be some kind of little Easter egg hunt or riddle scavenger hunt that'll have to do with the next 5 weeks.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, that's cool.
For the show, there'll be a code word or a code question.
Oh, okay. Sounds like fun.
Tidbits for extra prizes, and like I said, we're going to be taking questions before the shows.
Awesome.
So that we can air the questions during the show.
Awesome. All right, well, again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. And Kelsey and I will be back in just a minute to say goodbye. And again, Cepha, thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to everything coming up soon from you, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All righty, and don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the Twisted Angels. You're listening to the Twisted Hour on WBZ95.com. Let's not get it twisted. DM me on Instagram.
I seen your 7-figure grin from across the room. I see your patience are short with all these dancing fools.
All right, we are back here with the Twisted Hour here on WBZ95.com. We want to thank everybody for being on the show this week. My co-hosts Kelsey and Brianna, and of course our special guest this week, Cepha Beach from the Twisted Angels. And we really appreciate them being on the show this week and helping us out and just helping us pass the time during this fun-filled pandemic, quarantine / lockdown / reopening / what the hell is going on kind of situation. So we appreciate that. And we've got some music. It's a little bit older music, but it's a band that has been on our radar for a little while. It's a group called Keychain, and this is their single Prime Time. So in the meantime, you guys have a great week. Catch us on Facebook. We'll look us up on the Twisted Hour. But you can find us on Instagram at the Twisted Hour. So we look forward to seeing you guys hit us up there. And of course, you can find us here on the Twisted Angels YouTube channel. So look up the Twisted Angels on YouTube and you can find us there. And you can see some of our slideshows and stuff we do for the show. Alright? So again, everybody have a great week. Stay cool and get twisted.
Plus I got the ladies to rough a pump their body shake all over the place in the front to the back, and I wanna take some. Pump it up, okay, you wanna play with me now? Cause I rock a key chain, now we all about getting wild as hell. L-A-M-T-L-P-Y-T, drinks on me, come and sing. Can't stop it, you can't stop us now. Come get it, you come get it loud. Can't stop it, you can't stop this crowd. Can't stop me now. Come on, give it up. It's that time. Go give it up. It's prime time. Come on, give it up. It's that time. Let's go give it up. It's prime time. Hey, we get paid on the rave, cause we getting down and we do this all day. Yeah, we bringing on the punk and the funky too. Just the sound that we get the cats go meow. Oh, I got love for the pros, but I brought my boys and they going for the clothes. New metal, rock, rap, hip hop, and trap, hot R&B.